All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so welcome to this class. This is more like the JavaScript intro of the whole web dev in 3 months classes, and let's proceed. Okay, so I'm gonna be setting up certain things while you are enjoying the background music. Testing. Come on, are you guys hearing me? Yeah, it should be. So now let's talk about JavaScript. Now, JavaScript is what we are learning, and JavaScript is what we are learning, and we are gonna move my pen here. So, what is JavaScript going to be helping us achieve? Since we want to do something on JavaScript, now JavaScript is one of the most popular programming languages you ever see out there. It's one of it's among the likes of C plus plus, C plus plus, C sharp, C sharp, C plus plus. For some reason, this pen is delaying me, so I'm gonna use my normal mouse. Plus plus. So JavaScript is among them, and it's one of the things that you're going to be using to making your websites, or let's say, more interactive and helping it to be more dynamic. Uh, you know, some of the things that you're seeing on your website are more JavaScript related. You get something like the navbar, how your navbar used to shrink, and as the more you keep on shrinking it, or how you click on this and to either rearrange the whole website, all of those stuff, or maybe when you're scrolling, you see something that's not around that. Okay, so JavaScript is going to be helping you solve much of all of those problems. I forgot to put it here. So JS JavaScript. So it's a high level programming language that probably among the popular ones out there, but it's mostly used in web related stuffs. Okay. So let's do something. JavaScript intro. JS intro. HTML. So now JavaScript class, or in this JavaScript class, because since I'm live streaming it, so all of you will watch it later. We'll be talking about the basic things you need to know. Okay, the basic things you need to know, and that is one of the methods we use to manipulate HTML. That is get element by ID and all of those stuff. So there is a way JavaScript actually displays things. Okay, so JavaScript displays things in different ways. But before I go into that, I'm going to set up our boiler plate. And for us to be able to write JavaScript code, we need to use the script tag. Remember, in the previous classes, I've always said that if you want to use the CSS or let's say styling, well, let's say CSS code in your HTML code, you have to use the style tag, right? You have to use it. But for JavaScript, you have to keep it at the bottom even before your main HTML code and all that. All right. So before that, you have to keep it under it, and then for you to be able to do that, you need to write your JavaScript code inside this script tag here. Okay. So now there are different ways that JavaScript actually displays things on the internet or on your web browser. Our JavaScript can be able to replace elements. You get or replace elements, things inside an element. You get, and one of them is using what we call inner HTML. Inner HTML. I'm gonna comment this out, comment it so to be easier. Inner HTML. Then there is another one that is called document write. So document write is going to help us do document.write is going to help us also to display some things on the internet on our browser or on the HTML page. You get using JavaScript. So we can use JavaScript to manipulate certain things there. We can give it like a what I call it a a function to carry out. Now a function is like a written set of code. So I love enough talking and let's just keep on writing. So window.alert. I don't know why I always keep on saying Windows, even during the last class. So window.alert is what you are going to be using to create a kind of pop-up on your browser. Okay. Then we now have console.log, which we mostly will be using for debugging our JavaScript code. So we'll comment it. Okay. So say we want to use inner.html now. Inner.html. Now, what does inner.html do? It helps us to be able to like change something into in our HTML elements. What do I mean by that? Let's write a demo code. Okay, let's do something small. We can come to the top here. Bring in a an element. You can say paragraph elements with an ID name of bits, or I can say with an ID name of color. Okay. Oh, sorry. Paragraph tag with an ID name of color, p hash color. Okay. Now there is nothing inside this element here, no element content. But we can use JavaScript to display an element content for it. And we can do something like that by saying say document dot get element. Now this get element is actually a method. You get a method in JavaScript that you can be able to get an elements ID. If you remember in the previous classes I've streamed, and I always mention something about one of the reasons why we need ID is not just only for styling, but also use the ID and class names by with JavaScript too. Yeah, so you can get that element by its ID. So get element by ID, get our bracket and color that element. So the element name is color, but and we can say dot inner HTML. So like I said, this is going to display replace what we are going to assign to it. We're going to assign to it. We're going to display that inside this element here, which is going to be transferred into our elements content. So we can say inner HTML, give it an equal to, we can say blue. Okay. So if I should live preview this code, I have to live preview the code. So waiting for my live preview to set up. Okay. So if I should display it, you find a blue displayed here. Now, but if on a normal, if you check my HTML code and in my blue paragraph, you notice that there is nothing inside. I didn't write blue inside here. Where my blue was in my JavaScript code. Okay, my blue was in my JavaScript code, and I assigned it as. Don't worry if you don't understand the assigning and all of those stuff. I'll explain it better as we proceed. But for now, just go with the flow. Okay, things will add up later. Now, I assign this blue into this our document dot get elements by ID dot inner HTML. Okay, I assigned it to it. So whatever is going to happen here is what is going to be displayed here. All right. So let's proceed. Now we have another one which is called document.write. Now what does document.write do? Document.write will send will display what it has written after loading the HTML code. What do I mean by that? I can come here and say I'm going to let me delete this. Okay, let me delete this too. I can come here and say T paragraph, call it lorem. I'm gonna give you some dummy text. Lorem 7. Okay. Again, after giving it lorem 7, I can say document.write. Document.write. Tell it what it to display. You can say I want to display maybe 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3, which is 6, right? So if I should bring up my browser, I'm gonna share this to this place. If I should bring it up and refresh, you'll find that after loading this dummy text, next thing you see is 6. Okay. So when all of these things has finished loading, that is when document.write will now take its place. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to work on again is the next thing I'm going to work on is this window.alert. All right. So what does window.alert do? You might have seen some pop-ups on your on your phone before, or on your browser when you want to do certain things or you want to take a certain action. That's what that's what Windows.alert will do. Don't know why I always keep on saying Windows. Why it is window. So say I say window alert. I say Windows.alert. Do let it do display. I am amazing. Yes, I'm speaking it to myself. I'm amazing. So let it display I am amazing. Close it up with a semicolon. If I should refresh this, you see a pop-up that comes out saying I am amazing. Then I click on OK. I should reload the page. I am amazing. Keeps popping out. So that's what Windows.alert do. Why the last but not the least is console.log. Now what do we use console.log to do? We use console.log to do a kind of debugging on our code. All right. So it doesn't really show anything on the web browser, but it shows something on our console section when we want to inspect elements. So I can say console.log. What does console.log do? We'll give it what will display and say JavaScript to display my name. Okay. So I should reload this page. Then as much as I'll see this pop out because the code is still there. I won't be able to see my name being displayed. But if I should inspect elements, once I click on inspect element and I go to the console section, I'll see my name being displayed. Okay. So it's one of the ways to debug a code. You can use it to debug a code as we proceed to, or when you go more, what I call it, deeper into JavaScript, you find out that this was you'll be mostly to debug your codes and all of those stuffs. All right. So we have another function that I'm supposed to write here, which is the printing function. So window dot print, right? Window dot print. Window dot print. What will it do? Window dot print is going to is like a a kind of JavaScript, what I call it, functional method that you can use to print out a whole page. Okay, you can say you can come over here and use an icon. I remember doing this in my last class. Can link an icon, but before doing that, let me fetch it from the website. So uni icons, uni unicorns. Once I head over to the website, I will copy their code to link it to my HTML code. Link it up. Then I have to find an icon, a printing icon. So come over here to my line, print, okay, print, then I copy it. So once I copy it, I can come over to my code here and print and paste it. Okay. So after pasting it, there is something I'm going to do. I'll use the onClick attribute. So there is this attribute that is called onClick. It's for HTML elements too. So on click, it actually happens whenever I click. When it will only be triggered when that element is clicked on. So on click element, I can tell it okay. Once this thing is clicked, print to window. Nice. Use this window dot print function. Okay. So once it does that, if I should come here and refresh, I am seeing a an icon here, which is the print icon. Once I click on it, it will show me it will show me the way I can be able to print that whole page. So if you visit any website and you are seeing print this page, just know that it's a JavaScript code that is doing that. It's as easy as that. All right. So that is it. Then we need to work on something else again, and that is called declaration of variables. Now, what is variable? What is a variable? A variable is more like a container. Okay, a variable is like a container, and a container is used to store things. So a variable is a container. For some reason, this doesn't. It's a container. A variable is a container. Okay. Now, what we assign to it is what the container is going to carry. So you can assign to it numbers. Okay. You can assign to it numbers. For some reason, this thing is not taking well. So we can assign to it numbers, strings. Nice. We can give it numbers. Okay. I'm definitely going to change the amount of this. Well, for some reason, this doesn't want to work the way it's supposed to work. Okay, let's proceed. So a variable is like a container, and we can assign to it numbers. Okay, numbers, strings. Those are like words. Okay, we can assign to it all of these things, and to contain them until we use them. All right. So let me explain it. In JavaScript, you can actually like when I delete all of this, close this. We can say variable var x equals 1 equals to 1. So we're kind of saying that 1 is going to be assigned to x. Okay. So anywhere we see x, know that it is representing 1. It's what is containing 1. Okay. So and we always end it to a semicolon. So what you have to understand is every JavaScript code ends with a semicolon. When you finish writing something, you end it with a semicolon. All right. So if not, the computer or the interpreter is not going to read it very well. You might have error codes. Yes. So variable can be one. You can declare another variable by using var. Then you can say y is equal to 2. Right? You can declare another variable and say y z is equal to 3. Now, after doing all of this, you can say a can be equal to x plus y plus z. Now, after doing this, you can say to print it out, you can say, or instead of printing it out, let me show you something in my console.log. So, my console.log, I can say log a. So, I want you to display a. All right. Though I'm not going to see anything, I have to right click and go to inspect element and use the console here. So this is going to be displaying me 6 because 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 6. So that is one of the reasons you're seeing 6 here, x plus y plus z. All right. So to be able to declare variables, so this is a kind of variable declaration way. Yeah. To declare variable, this is what you're going to be using, this method. Okay. You can also use let. Okay. We can use let method of declaration. Let b be equal to, okay. You can let b to be equal to 5. Okay. So when you let b to be equal to 5, you can come here to add b. And if you refresh this, it also show you is 11. 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay. Then you can also use another method of declaration called const, which is constant, and it doesn't change. You can't reassign it. What I mean by reassigning, you can come here and say x equal to 1. I can come here again and come under again and start and change mount and say x is no longer equal to 1. It is now equal to 2. Okay. And when you do that and refresh this, this will change to 12 because this one will be overriding. This one will be overriding, and what will take place of that memory space or that container will now be the second line here. Okay. So let me comment it out. Now, but if I use const and declare the next variable and say const what I say is equal to const C is equal to 20, 22. Let's say 22. Okay. And all of a sudden, I say my const C, or let's say I will now start reassigning C and start saying C is equal to 20. This code will not run. Why will it not run? Let me show you something. If I should console dot log C, console dot log C, come here and refresh. I'm going to get an error here. I said uncut type error. So assignment to constant variable. We don't reassign a constant variable. This has been declared as constant, so we can't change it. Same way we have in HTML when we already have an ID name. You can't come and start giving another ID name to that is that same ID name to another element. No, it's wrong. So in JavaScript, you have to give a constant and let it remain that constant. Okay, let it remain that constant. Then when you do that, you're good to go. Okay. So what I would do is to delete this. And once I delete it and I refresh it here, I'm going to get 22, which is this. Then our solution for our equation here. Okay. So in JavaScript, we have mathematical equations or mathematical operators. Yes, you can call it JavaScript operators. So uh, for mathematics, we have I'll call it mathematical operators. Okay. Now we have the multiplication, subtraction, the addition, and the division. Okay. Or arrange it in a better way, I can always say addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. All right. So that is it. So there is something called JavaScript keywords. Keywords are special words that you don't use anyhow in JavaScript. You can't even use them as your variable names. All right. So what we are gonna do is mention a bit of those keywords. Okay. So we're gonna say for variable let const. Okay. I'm not gonna list everything because there are quite a lot of them. So I'm going to leave them in the description of this video. All right. So I'm gonna copy this, comment this out. And remember one thing: if you want to learn how to comment, all you just have to do is use two forward slashes and anything you type, because this is a single line comment, so it will only happen on that line. Anything you type on that line is going to be commented out. All right. So that is it. Uh, in the next video, we'll be delving more into JavaScript too. So today's live stream is done. I don't want to make it too bulky, so I'm gonna close it out right now. Good night.